I'm Gerald Bentley. This is LVWS Confidential. Tonight we are joined by Kid Isaac, the mayor of FunTown, living the dream one day at a time. Hey,
Yeah,
Kid Isaac, thanks for joining us here.
that's me. Hey.
Yeah, that is you, the mayor of FunTown. Hey, I want you to tell me a little bit. People who haven't seen a lot of Kid Isaac matches, what are they getting in you? What should they
uh,
expect to see in one of your matches?
they should definitely where I get the name from, Mayor Funtown. They should definitely expect a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
Um, definitely just and I just always describe just like most of my matches, just like they're just a little goofy,
Uh-huh.
just some goofiness. They definitely are gonna still expect, in most matches, just intensity and just some physical stuff. I'm still a bit of a fighter in there in the ring, so they're gonna expect just a whole roller coaster of what Kid Isaac's gonna have up against. But yeah, that's
Hey,
definitely overall the fun. Is what
champ
people are gonna expect.
won a championship. You got the Level Up Expo championship
Hmm.
this year
That's
and
right.
trained out at Santino Brothers in California. So definitely legitimate, credible wrestling background. But what was your idea behind it? What got you into being a pro wrestler?
Um, I think what got me into it was just I kind of just like wanted to try it out at first, and I didn't get into Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy with another person at the time that they were interested in training. My cousin at the time, and we
Okay.
got in together. We just decided to just go for it. They went in a little more earlier than me. They were a year older. I was still graduating from high school, but
Okay.
uh, my parents were like, let's see what college is like first, and then we could get you into wrestling if how it works out. My freshman semester, I went to Santino Rose Wrestling Academy. Uh, got basically thrown in there in a pretty mid-sized class. Santino Brothers always has some big classes. We're about a little smaller than the usual now, what you see when you're watching the videos, and just kind of just kept going because I just loved it every time I kept going, and I always sort of just didn't want to just make an excuse to just stop and give
Hmm.
up, even when I did, and then just I end up falling back into the path of wrestling and just kind of either I just somehow just get put back, and it's just like, okay, this is still working out. Um,
No, that
so I just
perfectly good answer. But
yeah.
what what led you to do it? Because I mean, there's a lot of people that would say, "Hey, yeah, I'll go give that a shot." But going to a pro wrestling training school, it's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it just isn't. So, what was, I guess, really the big motivation that got you in? Had you watched a lot of wrestling growing up? Was it
Hmm.
something that you said, "Hey, man, I can do that"?
Just I think a lot of PWG highlights are always my big motivator.
Okay.
So, when go I basically grew up just watching a lot of just indie wrestling in high school. So this is like around that 2013 to 2015 era, and went to some one of my first indie event was actually SoCal Pro Wrestling over in the San Diego area, and just seeing that in person live, as well as I got to see Lucha Underground tapings live as well, a couple
Okay.
times. So seeing that live just right in front of me just made me think like, this is possible. It's always different than seeing it on TV or even going to a WWE live event. But when you're there at a local show and you're seeing people, wrestlers that are performing at that level, and they're still going as hard as what you even see on TV, is just a whole different experience. And then being able to meet them at the merch table, and you're just asking them like, how'd you get into it? And they're just like, go to a reputable wrestling school, just keep training, train hard, and just like and be creative. someone did tell me that one time is just be creative, and that even just as the creative person I am, I'm also like really into music production and overall digital media. So I've made some
Okay.
films and stuff like that. So I've always had that creative mindset, and wrestling is just another canvas and another platform to just like sink my teeth in and just be like, yeah, here's what goes on through my mind. Here it is. And just um definitely that's just the motivator that made me go, let's give this a shot. Let me just go, let me just feel out. And I think what brings me back to is just it just gets more and more addicting. Just be able to have that fun in the ring with your friends too, just training with
Hmm.
them, as well as just like being in front of a crowd. Um, it's definitely I can't even really give a good like specific answer to what maybe go like, you know what, I'm gonna go to this wrestling school. It was just like I just want to try it out. I just wanted to like, because I'm probably gonna just grow up and just be like, maybe I should have tried that out.
Sure. Want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
It is amazing how influential and how many people mention Lucha Underground, considering it was only on for a couple of seasons. And at the time it was actually on, not by any means a ratings landslide,
Hmm.
but the people that came out of it, the amount of attention that comes back to it, it really is astonishing. I mean, the
Hmm.
Lucha Bros, Shane Strickland, AR Fox was in it,
Yep.
Brian Cage, John Morrison, John
Yeah.
Hennigan,
Yeah. I think I
Thunder Rosa.
went to one of the tapings that had Rey Mysterio as one of the
Hmm.
surprise entrants in the Aztec Warfare. Yeah, and now he's still being a legend, just on WWE, a
Sure.
Hall of Famer. Yeah, no,
But
Lucha on the ground, kind of just like overall, just watching it and then just being there to just show that what wrestling could be, just a whole production, a whole story, and everything.
do you like more of that cinematic style? Something
Uh,
that's just a little bit different, a little bit still, like you said, I mean, you do the legitimate moves. I mean, you'll
mhm,
do a crossbody block outside of the ring, good drop kick. I've seen you do uh, whirlwind DDTs, but you'll get into a little bit more of like a Orange Cassidy type style, Dan the Dad,
mhm.
if you've seen him on the independent
you
circuit,
you've
a
mentioned
little bit of
two
that.
mentioned two guys that kind of still inspire me and motivate me to keep doing what I do.
Okay.
Uh, I do manifest one day get in the ring with Dan the Dad, just to see Dan the Dad versus Kid Isaac.
Yeah.
It's just I think that's just I'll just kind of let that just settle on its own,
I mean, he
whatever.
may pull on the bow tie.
Yeah, I find this picture funny because this was in our locker room for it was a Santino Brothers event at a park in, I think, in Kudahai,
Okay.
and they just had us dressing in one of the like court offices area to go on the outside, and so this little podium area was just right there. And
Oh, it's
then
just convenient. Okay.
yeah, and I just decided, just I'm gonna take a picture just for the fun of it. That's how Mayor Funtown was born.
Okay. And Santino Bros, kind of basically Southern Cal, right? LA
Hmm.
based and get around there. And you can see lots of their stuff online if you go search it on YouTube. So really good foundation. Who are some of the people you came up there with?
So it came up there when I started with Dom Kubrick. You'll see him still wrestling on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I think they took off the from Hollywood part. I think it's just Championship Wrestling.
Hmm.
They came up there. I remember seeing Slice Boogie come in at some point. Um, definitely just like was ready to go. Slice Boogie, Matt Vanagriff,
Okay.
as you may know, in Matt Vanagriff, just a really good guy out here in
Yeah.
Vegas. He was just somebody I kind of basically was friends, knew when I had to move out here to Vegas. And I was just like, all right, let me invite me over to FSW, see how I can kind of get in. As well as some DKC. You see now in New Japan. Cam Gates came around in some wrestling shows out here in Vegas. Viva Van too. I came up with as well. Definitely, just it's always cool that now I'm name dropping a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they at now? Is just like the El Primo Henyo we just saw came out, starting to come around to Future Stars Wrestling.
Okay.
A lot of good people, and just it's kind of cool just that
Mm-hmm.
we've all trained together, we've all known each other for so long, and we're all living the dream.
Yeah, and it seems to be building. There seems to be momentum building with more promotions, more interaction between the territories. I'm noticing a lot more crossing over now between
Mhm.
Las Vegas and LA, Las Vegas and Phoenix, especially.
Hmm.
I mean, that's got to feel good, right? Because now
Yeah.
you're stretching out and covering a bigger region, so you can grow the border of Funtown.
Oh yeah, of course. It's not just Funtown, Vegas. I Funtown is everywhere. When I go to Los Angeles or some, I make my trips up in Washington's. Funtown's coming everywhere. Yeah, I think that's always the biggest challenge as a wrestler is to get out of this little small town bubble and try to branch out. It is scary at first too, because it's like when you go into a new territory, and I felt that when I went up to Washington, was just like no one knows me, or
Sure.
I this is like definitely new territory, so I definitely have to wrestle in a way that like is almost like first impression and just how you would introduce yourself. Like if you're a stranger to somebody, just like instead of just going up to them like, oh hey, like act like you all should know me. It's
Well, that
definitely
that's a good point. Do you go into a new promotion, a new territory, come in with the dress shirt, the bow tie, or because that's you,
yeah,
or is there a push, or do people ever say, "Hey, look, we just want you to come and go,"
yeah, no,
because that's not really you, right?
yeah, no, it is a bit of a me. It is hard to kind of just like if I'm ever talking with promoters or something, I show them this is what Kid Isaac is, the bow tie, the button up, what I do in the ring and stuff, and just what I'm about, just a fun character overall. I can switch it up if it depends on the story too. Because Kid Isaac does have that mean side, as we've seen in how he progressed in certain promotions like Pride Style, the rivalry with Noah Anderson and everything.
Hmm.
There is different layers to him. We just gotta see how we could get that out of him, and you know, and I haven't really had the opportunity to kind of be thrown into one of those like a just a normal kind of just a exhibition kind of match, just seeing what Kid Isaac would do. Um, but just I think it's like I
You
kind of
know,
just get in there, just
would you
show what I
even
can do.
would
Yeah,
you even want to get into that though? Because it doesn't make sense, right? You'd want anything
yeah,
to make sense and kind of be in the continuity, if you will.
yeah. I think well, to be fair, the first time when I did Future Stars Rest, the first match I had in, it was I think it was just a pre-show though. It was just like entrance. This is Kid Isaac. Hey, everyone's just like, all right, let's see what this kid's all about. And then just the moment, I start just running around the ring, that's like, oh, okay, that's kind of what he is. But it does take a while for audiences to kind of like the more they see you, the more they're gonna get you. And
Hmm.
I definitely learned that, and that's something I would probably would tell any um, anybody that's starting out is that the more they see you, the more they're gonna get to know you. It's all about repetition and consistency.
Takes more confidence though too to be
That too,
your
yeah.
own person as opposed to just being, and it goes both ways, right? It takes more confidence to be your own person and to create that unique character. It also has more risk, but if it hits, the reward's a lot greater being
Mhm.
Kid Isaac versus being just any random wrestler,
Yeah.
because you want to be remembered.
Yeah, yeah. And there's times I think about like, well, what if I is just Isaac, just a normal guy, just does cool moves or whatever. And sometimes I think about that. I'm just like, it's a parallel universe I think about. And I just wonder what that would be like. But
Yeah.
I enjoy just looking back, and I just enjoy the weird stuff that has happened in my career so far.
Well, maybe there can be a Big Valley Wrestling multiverse show.
Oh yeah,
Got to see
definitely.
if we can get that worked up.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Now, you did have a little bit of a different look at
Oh,
talking Big Valley
oh
Wrestling.
no, we're revealing our the biggest secret.
Well,
Yeah,
it's been reported
yeah.
that there's a lot of similarities between this masked man and yourself.
I
You can confirm or deny.
I think that's yeah, yeah, but I think we just get a lot of similarities and get compared a lot together. That's just a good old friend that decided to come in town.
Does he
Uh
show up occasionally?
we'll see him another time though. Anytime there's Haritos at your event, you might see him.
Okay.
Um you know, I think funny thing though, I think we can talk about though is the different roles I get thrown into in wrestling.
Hmm.
And you've seen it with Anime Slam, Big Valley Wrestling, how
Yeah.
it's dressed up as Ash Ketchum. I was
Had the
Luigi
little
for
pokey gear. Yeah.
yeah, was Luigi for the Level Up Expo, and for the I believe it was the big boss battle.
Hmm.
And yeah, just that's always the fun thing about Kid Isaac is that he could just kind of just be anything he wants to be.
Yeah. Just kind of have some fun and get
Yeah.
out there and make it an entertaining match. Just looking for something that makes sense, I guess, in the story.
Hmm.
Now, what wrestlers were the most inspirational to you outside? You mentioned the Lucha Underground. Who are some of the wrestlers that you watch and say, yeah, I kind of want to do that?
A funny thing is like, maybe one thing that one wrestler that definitely I already mentioned is Rey Mysterio.
Hmm.
That's like my childhood hero right there. Him and Eddie Guerrero as well. So a lot of the lucha influence that I have in my moveset just kind of was just like planted from watching Rey Mysterio as a kid,
Okay.
um, as well as going on to dive into lucha, seeing like Pentagon and Ray Phoenix in Lucha Underground to what we see now is like Commander, and just so many good luchadors are just always somehow coming up with different stuff. That I'm just like, okay, I at least like where I'm taking some lucha. I won't go do any like 630s or anything, but who knows, maybe one day. um that and then just it's weird like I if I think about like who really influenced me into just watching wrestling was like the Boogeyman.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
I think for whatever reason I was such a big fan of the Boogeyman watching Smackdown Friday nights because okay, so I started watching Smackdown and Raw like around maybe 2005 to 6. So there's a weird like infamous era of like '07 and '08, and that's the and Boogeyman was like one of the guys you'll see on TV a lot
Sure.
just from the gimmick alone. He's the Boogeyman. He's coming to get you.
Yeah,
And
it was a little bit different spirit at that time in the
yeah,
WWE.
yeah. I think I always have that still that love for just weird stuff that goes on in wrestling, and that's kind of just what inspired me and just coming up with the character just to or being open to other characters. Like that. That's why when I was coming to Vegas, I was really looking forward to training with Sim Bodhi. Just because
Sure.
of what his repertoire and everything he can tell me. And
What brought you from LA to Vegas?
to be upfront, like family wanted to come out here,
Okay.
and there was no. I kind of took it as an opportunity, just like I was injured around a certain time. I had a rotator cuff injury that from a dislocated shoulder, so that took me out about 2 years. Out of like, and this was during the COVID era too, so I was injured. So I guess it was a good time, somewhat, to just heal myself. And then the family wanted
Sure.
to live out here, and I took it as an opportunity to just like not that I didn't do anything in California. It was like I've already kind of know everybody, and I've been told that you just want to get out of your bubble, and this is one way:
Sure.
is get out of bubble and then start new. And that's what Las Vegas has kind of just been to me, is just like starting brand new from the ground up, but still Kid Isaac, because I was still
Yeah.
Kid Isaac in then, and now I'm just Kid Isaac here.
Well, it's a great place to start over, if you will, because you have Big Valley, Pride
Mm-hmm.
Style, Grap House, Dark Arts, FSW,
Yeah.
and with the AEW weekend coming, there's probably like 15 to 20 different wrestling shows that are going to happen in the city that week, which is really just a tremendous amount of opportunity for all the local talent. Are you going to be involved in some of those events?
One event in particular is Ben Hall's Blackjack Rumble that I
Okay.
am a participant in the Rumble. That's one I look forward to. We're going to be at the FSW Arena on the 27th. I believe that's before the FSW versus GCW, so I'm hoping there's like I get to check out the show and see some GCW action. I am a big fan of Game Changer Wrestling. So that, and then sadly though, I can't make it to versus meanwhile, since they're around the same times. But
Sure.
I know there's gonna be B-Boy's gonna be in town. B-Boy's having a seminar at versus Pro Studios. So, that's like a great opportunity for anyone that I knew B-Boy back then. I know B-Boy now. Another brain to just pick, and yeah, there's just so many. Yeah, there is so many shows around AEW weekend. Definitely a big opportunity for not just me, but for all the
everybody.
all the rookies, all the wrestlers, all my friends here. We're all very hungry.
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely see it. You can see the intensity. You can see just the number of shows that are going and how hard everyone's working. It's really good to see that community just coming together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's it's like a healthy amount of competition between all of us, I wouldn't say we're not that competitive. We're not trying to screw over each other or anything like that. There's nothing grimy going on. We're all just having fun and just doing our best to benefit each other, benefit ourselves, and just make each one of us like a better wrestler than every show we go to.
Oh, which is a great goal. Yeah, I did want to ask. You have the living the dream mom shirt. What does mom think about what you're up to?
My mom is always scared anytime I get in the ring. Anytime I show her, I love showing her a video of like, hey, look at this move I took from G Sharp, or just anybody that loves beating me up, and just like, oh son. But she's always supportive from the start too. Just as much as like she's always been like, I don't know about it. just doesn't want to see me get hurt. I think that's just like a motherly thing.
Sure.
But my mom and my dad too are involved and just supportive. And living a dream mom was just it was a funny thing that just like slipped out of my mouth when I did promos back then, and it means it really does mean something.
Ties in with your persona as well, right?
Yeah. Still, as long as like we're doing something, I'm doing something that's making me happy. It makes all my whole family happy.
Okay, well, here, let's go ahead and wind it down. We'll go to the championship round.
Ooh,
Got the
okay.
LVWS confidential belt for you. So 2 belts, right?
Okay, yeah, here we go.
Who would be your dream opponent?
Oh, dream opponent. Oh man.
Could be anybody.
Yeah, it can't be anybody. I know I just said Dan the Dad.
Yeah.
Man. So yeah, that is definitely my dream opponent. And if it could be anybody too, oh man, I think it would be if there's an opportunity in the near future, maybe in the future somehow in AEW, it would be Orange Cassidy. It's crazy because
Those are the 2 that came to mind for me watching you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond, I watched a lot of Beyond Wrestling, and I was just a big fan of Orange Cassidy before AEW, and I was just like, man, I need to be in the ring with this guy.
I could see you being a big Chikara fan too.
Yeah, I watched some Chikara. So yeah, a lot of the like ant family that stuff that goes on there, just and that and PWG was all the where I get just some wacky ideas going.
Sure.
I think it was cool that Pride Style this past weekend. We had our me and Can't Stop Jamal in the stop sign match, and got to do the whole slow motion thing in the ring, and that's I think we made everyone was entertained by it, and it was just cool that like, hey, we got to do a slow motion wrestling spot.
Yeah, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
What's coming up next? What's the next big thing coming up for Kid Isaac?
Next big thing is definitely I'm looking into that Blackjack Rumble and seeing what possibilities come from there. And for next month, I do have a couple trips. I'm going to California where I'm tagging with Darwin Finch, bringing back the Lab Rats together for a show called I think it's like just Monday Mayhem, Valley Wrestling over there, and that, and then just like I'm seeing some shows popping up. Pride Style is going to be June 30th at the theater, which we have a lot of time, especially after that whole AEW weekend that everyone's there's like a good week or two where now shows are happening out here.
Makes sense. Sure.
Yeah. So I take the time to kind of just like rest up, recuperate a bit. I do love the gimmick matches. I do don't really hurt me too much, but you do feel it at some point, and I think it's a good thing that I just kind of rest up a little bit and sleep a little more.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of sleep. And then the last question, the bow ties, clip-ons or hand-tied?
I think I've taken enough already. It is definitely a clip-on. There's only a rare time in a ring it's ever going to come off. That's when it gets serious.
Well, and I think it makes sense that it's a clip-on because being a clip-on, it can't be used to choke you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Some other wrestlers might say otherwise. It's been used against me at some point.
Oh, well, it's harder to choke you with it then, I guess.
It definitely is.
Well, hey, Kid Isaac, thanks for taking the time to step into the ring with us and keep fighting for fun. And we will see you again here in the ring on LVWS Confidential. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me. All right.
Excellent.
Y'all have a good night.